Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this program on knowledge sharing event for Korean network members. I would like to introduce myself. I'm the climate technology manager working with the CTCN. And in my presentation, I would be speaking about the CTCN activities in the Asia and the Pacific region and the engagement opportunities for you as network members in Asia and the Pacific and generally in global. My slides would consist of the following elements: implementation of technical assistance request, which is one of the main tasks for the network members to be engaged in, capacity building, knowledge exchange and sharing, networking and partnerships. Uh, Out of these four, we seek engagement of the network members in largely in technical assistance requests, but also to a lesser extent on capacity building. However, knowledge exchange and sharing and networking is an important element in this whole engagement strategy for the network members. Over the last 24 months, if you see, the CTCN has completed 107 requests for technical assistance, which are implemented by network partners. 49 of them are still under implementation stage. In various stages, they are likely to be finished soon. Some have just started. 69 of them are in the design stage, and this is the most important thing which you should be looking at, because the technical assistance requests which are in the design stage would come to you for implementation. And this, in subsequent slides, I would describe how our process of selecting a specific network partner involves, what are the steps and what you should look out for. 16 of the technical assistance requests are in the design stage. In this slide, you will see the whole distribution of the technical assistance requests of the CTCN. Specifically for the Asia Pacific, if you look in Asia alone, there are 90 requests for technical assistance, which are in various stages of implementation. Definitely Southern Asia or South Asia, we have the largest number, 28, Western Asia, 19, Southeast Asia, 36, Southeast Asia, the number of requests in Southeast Asia are the largest, 36. And in the Pacific, if you combine all the Pacific, Micronesia, Melanesia, and Polynesia, there are 15 requests for technical assistance, which are in various stages of implementation. Just to give you a heads up, these are the countries wherein either you would have received a notification, or these are the countries wherein we are currently advertising, inviting the network members to submit their bids. And these are Solomon Islands, Vanuatu, Maldives, Mongolia, PNG, Cambodia, Indonesia, Sri Lanka. Few more are in the pipeline, and in the next couple of weeks, you will receive either a notification for entering into the bidding process. So please be on the lookout for this. Now the CTCN receives the funds in the two host agencies. Depending on which host agency we receive the funds, we have to follow their norms and their process and procedures for selecting the network partners. Largely, the process remains the same. At least the technical evaluation part remains the same, but there are a few differences which I am going to point out. As you know, CTCN is hosted both by UNEP and UNIDO. So I will begin with the bidding process, what we follow in UNIDO. First of all, the terms of reference are developed on the basis of the response plans which we make for every technical assistance request. Now, these terms of reference are advertised, and we send out a notification via an email or newsletter or they are also displayed on the CTCN website at the following address. And you can click on this and you'll see what are the new technical assistance requests which are open for bidding. When we send out emails, we use mail merge facility to send it out to all network partners. We have noticed that a number of network partners have complained that they do not receive these emails or newsletters. Please check your junk mail. Maybe it is getting filtered out there because we use a mail merge process wherein individual mails are sent out to all the network members. Definitely for the UNIDO process, when you are going to bid, you have to register yourself, which is a one-time registration at https /procurement.unido.org. This is only for one time. Now, after the bidding process starts and the requests for technical assistance inviting network partners to bid have been announced, we give generally between 4 to 5 weeks between the advertisement and the closure date. We are flexible on this account. If we receive a request from a network partner to extend the deadline, we generally do comply with it. And I'm saying 4 to 5 weeks because if the request for technical assistance is small, valued something like 100,000 or 150,000, we generally want to finish off the process quickly. So it is 4 weeks, but it is also 5 weeks if the value of the total work is more than $150,000. In the UNIDO process, what we do is there are two steps. The first step is technical evaluation, and the second step is the financial evaluation. The technical steps I would explain in the subsequent slides, but those who qualify technically, or those bids which are qualified technically, we just take their financial proposals, and the bid which has quoted the least cost wins. So here we apply, or UNIDO applies, the least cost principle. In technical evaluation, if it is evaluated out of 100 points, the minimum required score is 70 points. Or if it is evaluated against 80 points, the minimum required score is 60 points. So once you score 70 point or 71 point or any number of points, we technically qualify you and we look at your financial proposal. If you receive less than 60 points or if you receive less than 70 points, you are not technically qualified and we don't even look at your financial proposals. So technical qualification is mandatory, that you have to technically qualify by more than 70 points. My next slide shows the technical evaluation template. Now this I have picked up from a recently advertised technical assistance or call for bids. And this is in the Pacific Islands on low carbon transport. Now, whenever you register yourself and you start the bidding process, the templates of which you will find on the UNIDO website when you register, you will also find the technical evaluation template. We provide you with this, so it becomes easy for you to draft your proposal in a manner in which you cover all the points which are there in the technical evaluation sheet. And the first and the foremost which we see is experience related to the technical assistance. Now, when you are describing your experience related to technical assistance, please ensure that it is contextual. In this case, it is on low carbon transportation technologies and in small island developing states. So therefore, these two should be the primary concern and criteria for you to put in your experience. And again, for example, in the first criteria, if you look, we are looking at proven relevant experience of undertaking data collection and surveys on the barriers to demonstrate techno commercial feasibility and action plans and roadmaps for low carbon transportation technologies. So when you are describing the number of projects which you have performed under this criteria, please explain under each project, at least in a couple of lines, what kind of data collection you did, what kind of surveys you did, how did you do the survey? And this is what the evaluation committee looks at. Again, if you look at the second point, which is on proven relevant experience of undertaking socio-economic environmental assessment, stakeholder consultation, capacity development programs, and financial proposals. Now, here there are 5 things: environmental assessment, stakeholder consultation, capacity development programs, and financial proposals on low carbon transportation issues. So please do pay attention to these small points, and when you are describing your projects, they should have at least one of them. So maybe one project is on environmental assessment, other is on stakeholder consultations. What are the type of stakeholders which you consulted? What are type of capacity building programs you did? And what are type of financial proposals you have made? And these are high value. These are, in a sense, from the evaluation perspective, a high valued thing, because they have, each one of them have 10 points, but the total is 20 points. Then the second point is expertise related to technical assistance. So again, what we are looking at is project management expertise on managing and delivering complicated climate technology projects, working with multiple stakeholders comprising of national and local governments and communities for small scale or SIDS, small island developing states. Again, this has to be very contextual. The projects which you describe in this should clearly demonstrate that what were the complications, what were the different stakeholders which you engage with, how did you engage with the national and the local governments, and things like that. And specifically, this needs to be for small island developing states. You can give some projects which are outside the SIDS or outside the Pacific, but if you give examples of the SIDS, it would provide a greater weightage and a greater impression that you have experience of working with SIDS on similar kind of projects. Again, since in the TOR you will find that we are also looking to develop the GCF concept notes, you have to have experience on GCF concept notes preparations on clean energy or low carbon transport in the small island developing states. So this you should be very clear about, and you give examples which do capture these things. Then the third point, which we look at the adequacy of the proposal, and in the adequacy of the proposal, we look at conformity of the proposal. Is what is your methodology? Did you understand the objective of the TA? Your approach which you describe in the methodology should be detailed and stepwise, that what you are going to do as step 1, what you are going to do as step 2, what you are going to do as step 3. How will you collect the data? How will you compile the data? What tools would you use for analysis? Are you doing an MCA analysis, or what kind of analysis you are going to do? Or your methodology should also contain what kind of stakeholders, probable stakeholders you will engage with. And all these things you will find in the terms of reference or in the response plan which has been prepared by the CTCN. So these are the things which we look at, and your methodology should be very robust when you are describing it, bringing out all the details. We also look at the local context and experience, and this is very important point, because although the number of points you have stated is just 5, but what we are also looking at, not just the local context and experience, but what kind of partnership you have developed. So, okay, if you have a weak partner, then definitely in the previous slides, the points which I have shown, you will not be able to demonstrate the experience of the local partner. And one of the main things of the CTC and technical assistance is also to build local capacities. And through the technical assistance, we believe that you can enter into partnership with local institutions which have experience of working in the region or working in that in that particular country, and this gives an impression that you have a strong partnership, you are meeting all the requirements, you have experience in the region, you have experience in the country, and you have experience in the topic for which you are bidding, and therefore it it helps you score more number of points so that you are technically qualified. Now, an important thing to look at, an important thing to look at is the personal qualification, the team which you are proposing. Now, the team which you are proposing should be a mix of your institution as well as the partnership which you have entered into. So if you are proposing, for example, a team of 8 to 10 people, it would be good if you can have something like 4 or 5% which have local experience or which are locals, because that would show that you have a strong partnership. You have a strong partnership, and even for the personal qualification, we define the experts and we also define the qualification or desirable qualification of these experts, and these all you will find in the terms of reference or in the response plan prepared by the CTCN. An important point here to note is that the minimum qualification for each of the criteria is 50% of the maximum value. That is, for personal qualification, the total number of points is 10, but you have to score 5 points before you have to score at least 5 points, because if you don't score 5 points, then your application would be deemed as not successful. So for each of the individual criteria, you have to score minimum of 50%, and in cumulative, you need to score, if it is out of 100, 70 points, and if it is out of 80, at least 60 points, so that your application goes to the next steps wherein we look at your financial proposal. Now, the next process for technical assistance, the next bidding process is through UNEP or United Nations office in Nairobi. Here it is a kind of a two-stage criteria, and I'll describe in the subsequent slides how we do a technical evaluation. Again, the terms of reference are developed on the basis of the response plan. They are advertised. All these bids are advertised at United Nations General Marketplace, UNGM. And you as a network member have to register for one time in United Nations Global Marketplace at this address. What you can also do here is you can subscribe to the alert services, so that as soon as some advertisement comes up, you are alerted with it. That is one facility. However, we also send out emails, newsletters, and the CTCN website, as we used to do for UNIDO. Here also we do it for all the network members using the mail merge facility. And for these also you will find any request or any call for bids on our web page. Here it is a two-stage process. The first stage is request for expression of interest, and then the RFP. So as soon as we advertise for 4 to 5 weeks, we ask the bidders, or we ask the institutions, or we ask the network members just to send in their request for expression of interest, that is stating that they are interested in bidding for this technical assistance, and this is for 4 to 5 years. And the idea here is to give you more time, because once you send your REOI, you will have means you can look at our website, you can look at the response plans, and you can see what are the kind of requests which is coming out, and you can start thinking about which network partners you would like to engage, or which local partners you will enter into partnership with. Once we receive the request for expression of interest, after 5 weeks, we send you request for the proposal. Now, the request for the proposal, we again give you something like 3 to 4 weeks to send in your completed final proposal against the technical assistance to UNON or to UNEP. I say UNEP/UNON because UNEP follows the UNON rules, and you have additional time of 3 to 4 weeks to send in your completed proposal. Generally, I have not seen any case if you are a CTCN network member and you submit REOI, that is request for expression of interest, you are selected automatically and we send you the request to send the final proposal. So this is a two-stage process. Now, the trick here is it is a combination. The evaluation is a combination of technical and the financial bid. There is a technical evaluation committee and there is a financial evaluation committee. So the technical evaluation committee just evaluates your proposal on the technical aspects, and then the financial committee evaluates the proposal on your financial bids. And we do combine the scores of technical bids and the financial bids. For CTCN projects, since in the response plan itself, we describe the budget and the activities in detail, etc., etc. So we put a lot of emphasis on your technical capability and your technical content. And therefore, the weightage of the technical evaluation is 80% of the technical points you scored, and 20% of the points you get through your financial bid. But again here, for your financial bids to be opened up, you have to pass the technical bids, and out of 100 points, the technical and the technical evaluation is of 70 points. Here it is a bit different. In the technical bids, first of all, we look at some of the mandatory criteria, that is, you pass or fail. For example, you need to be a CTCN network member. So yes, you all are CTCN network members, so you pass. The second point, the bidder is in business for at least 5 years and have undertaken activities in the field, in that specific field. So that again, you means when have you been registered, and etc., etc. So you provide evidence for that, such as articles of incorporation, profile of the company, and we know, okay, this institution has been in business for 5 years. So that also is okay. The bidder is required to provide a statement that they will not subcontract more than 50% of the budget of any work. And this is an important thing. And you need to provide a letter stating that, okay, you are entering into a partnership with a local institution, and you are not going to give more than 50% of the budget to them. This is from the point of view of that we want you to engage a local institution, but we also want your engagement. So it has to be a kind of a 50-50 partnership, and not that you do only 10% of the work and 90% of the work you subcontract to a local partner. That is not acceptable, and we ask for a letter from you confirming this thing. The other important thing is that if you are not based in the country where the implementation work has to be undertaken, you need to provide a letter of partnership with local organization or local experts, clearly defining their roles and expertise of the local partner relevant to the TOR, and at least 25% of the budget should be allocated to the local partner. So in effect, we are looking for a partnership wherein the partnership with the local institution is between 25 to 50%. And this we ascertain that the bidder must provide a letter of confirmation and clear allocation of work and budget ratio to the local partners in the country. Means this is for Bahamas, and I've picked up a typical example, but this is the range, 25% to 50%. Again, we look for reference letters from the past clients, and the bidder should provide reference letters from the past clients indicating experience of engaging in government ministries, etc., etc. These are flexible, but we require reference letter, or even if you have a contract statement or even an email, we do consider it. This is just to ascertain that you meet the criteria. We also look at the work plan, up to 5 pages of the work plan. We just scan your proposal and see that if you have included the work plan for implementation of the project, then it is okay with us. We also looked at whether you have provided the CVs of the person, which or the team, or and if you have provided, that is okay. We also look for a 1-page organogram, that who is going to be the lead, what would be the role of different players or different consultants or different partners, and we look at so that is okay. And we also look at whether you have submitted an approach and methodology in the proposal or not. If it is there, then it is okay. So this mandatory criteria is just a screening thing, wherein we see, okay, all the documents are there, yes, 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 and then you pass in all, and you clear this mandatory criteria. Then we start evaluating your proposal for technical aspects. Yes, and this technical point scale criteria, eligibility of it is 70 points. That is, you have to score 70 points before your proposal would be financially evaluated. Again, this evaluation sheet is provided to you at the time of RFP. When we call for RFP, we provide this sheet to you. So you can clearly see that your proposal should have what elements. In the second column, you will see we also provide you with examples of expected evidence and the maximum points for each criteria. Here it is important to note that if we have said that at least 2 description of 1 page maximum of previous work, it means that this is the minimum number of descriptions which you need to describe. But looking at the maximum points, okay, these are 2 descriptions or at least 2 descriptions, and the maximum point is 10. So if you put in 4 or 5 description, that would help you gain more points. So this is the trick here, that you need not just to provide the minimum work experience, but you have to describe. If you are asking 2, you provide 5. If there's 25 points, you provide 10. That is going to really show that you have in-depth knowledge and experience of that particular working area. Again, this is all contextual, but but the various parameters are like proven project management experience of managing and delivering complicated multi-stakeholder project involving surveys, data collection, capacity development program. Again, if you are describing, for example, or if you are putting up 7 or 8 experience or projects here describing your experience, you say that in each one of them, and it can be very short, not more than a para of how you have engaged in survey for that particular that particular project, or how you have engaged in data collection for that particular project, and which national and international organizations you have worked in. So and coming to second, proven expertise of engaging and mobilizing typical stakeholders from private and public sector to design. Again, you have to provide 6 to 7 examples of how you have engaged with the private sector, public sector, or implementation of national policies and regulations, etc., etc. Now, one more hint here is that your projects can be repeated. That is, for this criteria, for the first criteria, if you have provided 8 of them, so maybe 6 of them also meets this criteria, and here you provide 6 which you have described above plus 2. So again, it becomes 8 here. And if you come to the third criteria, again you have to provide, we ask for at least 2, but you can provide 5 or 6 or 7 or 8, and again this can be repeated from the earlier ones. But when you are describing against this criteria, you have to describe that what kind of detailed market assessment you have conducted, or what kind of technical support you have provided for policy implementation or development of the financial mechanisms related to urban development. And all these things are provided to you in the terms of reference, or when we call for the proposal in the RFP. What we also do is that if you have any doubts, we means you can write back to UNON, and we'll provide you with a written explanation. And this written explanation, so suppose there are 15 institutions which are applying, and each one of them have come out with questions, 2 questions each, so that becomes 30 questions. So we prepare a kind of a sheet which is clarification, question and answer, and we share with you those questions which are raised by all the bidders, so that you get more detailed clarifications. Again, in this whole thing, the local context and the local experience is of great value, although we have just mentioned 5 points here, but in all of these above, we looked at how closely you are working in the region. We look at how closely you have worked in the country. And when you are describing these experiences could be either yours or the local partner which you have engaged. If you have not engaged with the local institution, but you have engaged with local consultants, so we even look at the experience which they bring in, or what projects they have worked in, and which you can describe as an individual. Definitely, these should be reflected in their CVs, which you are going to submit. So again, means so there are different criteria. Against each of the criteria, we have examples of what we look at, the evidences. But I would like to repeat that these numbers are just indicative, and they're the minimum which are required. Try to provide, I would say, in the range of 8 to 10 to 12 at least, which are related to the topic, which are related to the subject, which are related to the country or to that particular region. And on this basis, we award the points. They are summed up, and if they are more than 70, we open your financial bid, and you are scored against the financial bid and the weightage of the financial bid is just 20%. The calculation how we do it is provided to you in the terms of reference when in the terms of reference which you will get at the time when we request you to provide you with the full bid. And generally, the more points you score on the technical scale, the better your chances become, because 80% of the weightage is of technical points. So this is how we do the bids, but there are other things wherein we expect you to engage with us. And the first thing is webinars. Now, you as institutions have specific expertise in areas, and we would like you to transfer those or transfer the lessons learned to the other members, to the NDEs, to the global community. And therefore, we expect you to organize webinars. We are ready to, there is a simple template which can be filled up if you want to organize a webinar. We provide you with the platform, we provide you with the timing, we provide you with all the outreach. You just bring in with your technical content and you deliver this webinar for 45 minutes, an hour, depending on what you want to present. This is important because once you start delivering on the webinar, it has two impacts. First, the country comes to know that, okay, this kind of things can be done. And if it suits them, they'll put up a request for technical assistance to the CTCN, and then you get and then since you have worked in that area, you have a better chances of succeeding in the technical assistance. The second thing is, as CTCN managers, we also try to attend these webinars, and we come to know your expertise. And at a subconscious level, I have seen that if we have got a webinar or we have attended a webinar which is organized by an institution, so we already know the expertise of that technical institution. And at a subconscious level, when we are evaluating, generally those particular institutions have a better chance. But through webinars, we also intend to provide information and knowledge to the NDEs and other members of what kind of technical assistance requests can be put to the CTCN. The second thing is reports, case studies, which you can share on our website, on our knowledge management platform. And I do believe that once you are a network member, you have access to our portal. Means if not, you can write back to us and we would be happy to provide you with the information on how you can upload any technical reports or case studies on our portal. Again, here the intention is that there are a number of NDEs which look at our portal, look at our knowledge management system, and we do provide them with the opportunity to share your work. And number of NDEs who look at our portal look at the case studies and think, okay, this is a good case study, this can be implemented in my country, why don't we do a feasibility assessment or a study? And that's how we generate more technical assistance requests. Again, since it's your case study, it will be closely followed, and they will say that, okay, there is a Korean institution which have done this similar study, so we know you better, and you have a better chance of succeeding in the process. On thematic means we do invite network members if we organize thematic capacity building program. Now, thematic capacity building program, they are very few, means they are 5 or 6 or 7 or 8. In the last 2 years, as you know, because of COVID, we have not been able to organize face-to-face thematic capacity building programs. But if we know that there exists an expertise, we do invite the non-network members for thematic capacity building programs. And this is where your contributions through webinars or technology report is of quite importance to us, because then we know that this expertise exists in this particular organization, and we reach out that whether you would be able to give a presentation during the thematic capacity building program. And generally, when we do it face to face, these thematic capacity building programs are for 2 to 3 days. So you have good time, 1.5 hours to interact and make your case of good studies or good reports or good technology which you find implementable in the developing countries. The last thing is that we would also like to seek your support and help in developing linkage. And we provide you an opportunity to develop linkages through forcing you in the technical assistance process to develop partnerships with local organization, so that you can bid. But also the intention there is that these linkages would bring you closer to the NDEs of that respective country, so that you can start discussing with them the next steps to be taken. That is, after the CTC and technical assistance has been completed, and if you want to scale it up through the GCF or through additional funds from the government of Korea or through the World Bank, so you can develop these linkages and start working with the countries to scale up the assistance which has been delivered by the CTCN. And this is what we expect the network members to do, and to take forward the technical assistance which are delivered by the CTCN. That's all from my side, and I thank you for attending this program, for attending this session. I hope I have clarified few points which would help you in putting up a good bid. In the good bid in the future at any point of time with regards to the process, or with regards to any technical assistance. If you have questions or clarifications, please feel free to reach out to us. Once the process is launched, we do not directly interact with the network members, but before the process or before the bidding process starts, we are open to reply to your questions. And even at the end of the session, if there are any questions, please put up the questions and I'll try to further clarify and reply to you as far as possible. Thank you very much and have a good day.